Hey, what's up everybody? This is Leroy. Welcome to my channel, 40 and Broke, channel where we're dedicated to getting our finances in order, taking control of our money, and living the life that we always want to live. So, as you can see, I'm not walking like I usually am. It's getting cold outside, so I have to sit down here and start practicing doing this whole, kind of like I have a studio set up. So what I wanted to do, I've been watching a few videos where people are talking about, the list of books that they recommend you to read. So I thought, well, you know what? I'll do a list of books that I recommend, books that I thought were pretty good. And then I had a few down, and then I just got the idea that, there's everybody's situation's different. So there's always something different that you're at a different level than I am, or I might be at a different level than you, So every situation is different. So what I did is I made a list, got a list here with a few different categories. So I got one category. My first category was 3 books I'd have that were on basic budgeting. So my first recommendation would be The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. This book, the book's amazing. It's Dave Ramsey. You really don't need to say anymore. His baby steps are just amazing, extremely simple to follow. I like the idea of the debt snowball, the emergency fund. The only part where I start to veer away from what his teachings are, I don't agree with his investment policies of just mutual funds. But other than that, it's basic, it's easy, and if your finances are a train wreck, he will get you out of debt quick. He's proven to do so. Another book I have, Soldier of Finance, and I actually have a copy of Soldier of Finance right here. Soldier of Finance by Jeff Rose. This guy, he was in the military, and he got out of the military, became a certified financial planner. So what he decided to do was, after a while, everybody kept telling him, you need to write a book that has to do with, finances. That's sort of like being in the military. So he wrote Soldier of Finance. Great book. Breaks everything down. Each chapter has a checklist at the end to tell you whether you're on track or not on track. So it's just great book. Very good book. I highly recommend that book. And the other one, I also have a copy of that one because I think it's such a good book. The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clayson. Excellent book. Very easy to read. It's similar to it's just like a bunch of short stories, but it's in a chronological order of different people. And it just teaches you how to budget, what to budget. And I want to say one of the greatest things in there that I've learned is a portion of all I earn is mine to keep. And that's so true. That's where the philosophy of pay yourself first comes from. So you have to pay yourself before you can save. Otherwise, you'll never have money at the end of the month to save. So those are my 3 basic investing books. And so then I decided, what about investing or passive income? So I have a couple books on here that I thought were good for investing or passive income. And for starters, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And his whole belief is invest in something that's going to make you money that you don't have to work for. Because if you're trading dollars for hours, there's only so many hours in a day. So his whole point is start a business. Any book by Robert Kiyosaki is a good book. Cash Flow Quadrant. They escape my mind now, but I've read Cash Flow Quadrant, or I've at least listened to it. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. So I've listened to Rich Dad, Poor Dad a few times. I've listened to Cash Flow Quadrant. There are a few other books he has that I've listened to. Great books. My second book for investing in passive income would be one that I don't know if a lot of people have heard from. I don't see a lot of reviews about this book is Killing Sacred Cows by Garrett Gunderson. Now, he used to be a stockbroker or something similar to that, and then he just got disenfranchised with Wall Street and the stock market. So his whole point is to start your own business and use your money to create a product and go from there. And great book. And I've read the digital download copy of that, and it just made me look at the stock market totally different. I mean, I still invest in the stock market and I still believe investing in the stock market, but it made me look at the stock market totally different. So that was a good book. And he has another one called What Would the Rockefellers Do? And I've yet to read that. And I believe he has a book that just come out that I have not yet read either. It's called Budgeting Sucks. And I think I want to check that book out also. So his books are pretty good. They make you look at things differently. He's got a different mentality on things. And then the other book I have on this, I added it because everybody talks about this book. I've never read it. I've never listened to the audiobook, but it's The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. And now I've watched like summaries of this book and stuff like that. And basically what I picked up from the book is it's basically what you want to do is learn or create something of value. And then you want to turn around and take that product or skill that you've learned or that product that you've created, sell it somewhere where there's a strong currency, like, the US dollar, for instance, and then turn around and spend your money somewhere where there's a weak currency, so you take your dollars and then spend that you earn in dollars, and then you spend, say, for goods out of Mexico, which would be cheaper, a cheaper product, spend your money in a weaker currency so that you get basically more bang for your buck. And the other thing is to outsource any unnecessary tasks. If you don't have to spend your time on it, then you should outsource it using something like Fiverr or some sort of virtual assistant, personal assistant type thing like that. So now, like I said, that's not one of the books that I've read. That's just a summary of what I've read, or a video that I've watched on a summary of the video. So I just threw that in there because everybody always talks about it. And then the last category I would say would be books on your mindset. A positive mindset is key to everything. Negativity will simply bring you to the point where you're just like, why bother even trying? It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's finances or just life in general. So books that I found to be great on your mindset are, one is The Magic of Thinking Big by Dr. David Schwartz. The book's great. The whole point of the book is basically swing for the fences. Go big or go home. Why have a small dream and when you could have a big dream? There's no harm in trying. So the worst that could happen is you get shot down. The best that can happen is, hey, you just achieved it. So that was a great book. The next book was Mindset by Carol Dweck. And she talks about the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset, and shows you how to identify the difference between the two. So if you have a fixed mindset, you're basically going to think, let's say you're a sports player, you either have talent or you don't. Yeah, you practice, yeah, you're good at it, but the reason you're good at it is because you have talent. So, and the thing about fixed mindset, it's usually always somebody else's fault when things go wrong. Whereas with a growth mindset, you're like, okay, I messed up here. How can I learn from this and go on and do better? So she teaches the difference between having a fixed mindset and having a growth mindset, and how a growth mindset is always better. And then the last video, or the last book, was The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. I just listened to the audiobook of this and it was great. And I'm thinking about buying an actual book version of it, because so I can actually physically read it. The book was that good. And basically what he says is that there are little things that you do during your day and in your life that will compound into even bigger things down the road. So he says, do those little things. You may not see immediate results, but just like with, compounding interest on your stocks, it'll take a while. But over time, those little actions will compound into something greater and something greater and something greater, and you'll be successful. So that's it. Those are the book recommendations that I have. I think those are all great books. Obviously, there are a ton of books that I didn't list. So if you have any books, just down in the comments below here, say what books you think I should read, or what books you think other people should read, what books you recommend, and I'll put all these the names of these books in the description down below. And there's no affiliates. I'm not making any money off those books. They're not sponsoring this or anything. They're just books that I've read that I think were great books, and I think they'd help you all out also. So, all right, yeah, let me know what books you guys are reading, and everybody have a good day. Thanks.